Hello, everybody. Laura Eisenhower here, and I'm really excited to start interviewing people that I feel really inspired by, that have a lot to bring to the table, especially, as we are in this shift period. It's very important that we are, really committed to the healing journey, that we have, the support to begin to clear out our energy fields and really, become sovereign. And I'm really excited to introduce my guest, Elizabeth Ellen MacDougall. And what's really awesome is she's got an amazing journey. I mean, I've been working with her and got to know her pretty darn well, and a lot of the different stuff that she's been through. So I'm going to be asking her about that. But she lives on the beautiful island of Maui, and she's launched Power Energetics and is about to launch her first book, The Power of Knowing, your guidebook to the truth about life. Power energetic work resonates a deep sense of aloha. Elizabeth is a master facilitator and certified practitioner of Chinese energetic medicine. She has had a miraculous path that led her to the most amazing healers and techniques on the planet. And the list is quite long as far as all those folks. I want to kind of give you the opportunity to maybe bring some of those individuals in. She also has a great love of the pendulum that began in 1990. By the year 2000, she sat on a board of kinesiologists in San Diego, California for 8 years. The group of professionals tested the cutting edge of Western, Eastern, and alternative medicine. And there's so much more to share, and you'll have to check out the website. And we'll be giving that to you before the broadcast is over. But hello, Elizabeth, and thank you so much for joining me and being a guest here.
Hi, Laura. It's my pleasure to be here. I'm so grateful to be able to connect with you and connect with the audience and present some next level material as far as our own empowerment, enlightenment, and kind of escalating that new paradigm shift.
Yes, excellent. So I know you've had a really, really powerful journey of your own healing process. I mean, really taking you to some places that maybe people thought were impossible for you to get out of. Can you give us a little bit of your background and just that journey and anything you want to share on that?
Well, it's been an extremely long, challenging journey, and it was filled with a lot of obstacles along the way that most people could never even dream of kind of overcoming. And it started off with being chronically ill most of my life. And then during my third pregnancy, I triggered 2 major illnesses that took over 20 years to diagnose. And that was my third of 4 miscarriages. So there's been a lot of, pain along the way, and a lot of different kinds of pain. And so I spent 7 years in bed in chronic pain. I could only back my head up on my own, and it was level 10. And the doctors told me I was permanently disabled, and I had no hope for any kind of future other than to manage the pain I'd be in for the rest of my life. So I've been out of pain now since 2002. I've cleared hundreds of symptoms. And in 2004, I had been studying kinesiology for 14 years at that point, and literally just became the divining rod. So now when I'm muscle testing, I can just feel the truth, and it comes through. And the channel is really like clear and pure, and your heart of hearts. It's the sacred heart. So it's really a divine place where it's eternal. It's omnipresent, and so that awareness allows gigantic quantum shifts, I would say. If that makes sense.
Yeah. So maybe bring us into just some of like what it took for you to really launch yourself on that path of faith, that no matter what you were being told, you were going to be able to bounce back and get to the place that you are today, and all the different individuals that you met along the way, and all the different maybe healing protocols that you utilized in order to be able to really recover.
Well, at first, I didn't really want to believe it or accept it. You know, I don't think any part of me really believed it or accepted it at any point. And I prayed a lot. I was awakened in 1996, right after losing that third child. And through that awakening, I knew that I had to have faith in what was happening, and there was a reason behind it, but I just clearly did not understand the reason. And from that point, I prayed a lot for answers, for help, for healing, and through those prayers, I would say, you know, some of the top healing masters that are alive today were brought right to my door, basically. And I got to study with a lot of different people that that are pure amazingness. I don't even know how to explain it beyond that. So the first person was the real life Don Juan from the Carlos Castaneda books. He was, he still is, down on the Kumai Indian Reservation in Mexico, outside of Tecate. And I did a lot of sweat lodges with him, and purification, herb walks, water and land blessings, enlightenment classes, meditation classes. He is a very amazing man. I think he was on his 9th wife, and he had 67 sons. He didn't count his daughters.
Wow.
That's how he got his nickname. So,
Wow.
yeah. And he spoke Spanish, so he always had an interpreter. And really, when I met him, I was kind of at death's door too. On top of triggering all these illnesses, I was experiencing one of the 300 symptoms behind gluten intolerance, which is lymphoma and shingles. And so I came to him and I just said, "What's wrong with me?" And he did a body scan. I think I was all of 92 pounds. And I'm over 5'7", so I looked emaciated. And he told me I had cancer. He told me I was possessed, and he told me I was too weak to receive a healing from him, that he would kill me. And so I think he saw me, now that my gifts are all in, he saw me as the shaman, and he said everything he needed to say to me to wake me up and realize who I was and the healer that I was. And a month later, I healed my own cancer. And that week I lost all 3 lumps, and I gained 12 pounds. And so I've never had any sign or symptom of it again. It's just kind of amazing.
Yeah, and
that was just and then I ended up studying with him for 2 years. I was like, wow, who is this guy? You know, I know Don Juan, or Carlos Castaneda, says Don Juan is fictitious, but Don Juan doesn't like Carlos Castaneda, and he called him a liar. So,
oh gosh,
yeah.
wow, it's
so it's different. And anyway, that was the first person I got to study with, and then I studied with John Davison, who is a co-founder of the Taoist Sanctuary in San Diego. And then I studied with the real life grasshopper from the Kung Fu series back in the 1970s. He was David Carradine's real life master, and he was who the show was based on. And he was a 35th generation Shaolin temple master of 3 forms of Kung Fu, Tai Chi, and Qigong. And that was my first experience of, like, you know, where Don Juan woke me up and had me do it myself. Cam came in and just cleared the pain out of my body that I had tried every modality, tried everything on earth to remedy the pain. And I never really took painkillers because any kind of Western medicine always made me a million times sicker. So I think I took 1/2 a pill at one point, and I bled out of my stomach and my butt, and it was horrifying. So that wasn't even an answer for me. But I did go to famous pain clinics and all kinds of, you know, chiropractic, acupuncture, massage, nutrition, alpha biotics. I tried all forms of energy medicines, and I just kept getting further and further out there, you know, in shamanism. And it developed a nice path. I feel like it really, it put me on the right path. You know, at the time that all this happened, I was going to school for environmental resource engineering, and I wanted to then go to law school and then fight for the earth. You know, I wanted earth justice. And I call it now my divine intervention. I feel like it was God showing me, no, you know, you're not going to heal the earth. You got to heal the people that are affecting the earth so that that stops, you know. And I never believed myself to be the healer. It took a lot. God really showed me a lot before I really got it, and it sunk in. You know, I think when I was young, like when I was 12 years old, I remember thinking, you know, what do I want to do with my life? What do I want to do? And I really, before I was even connected, I was getting answers like, oh, it hasn't been invented yet. That's what I kept hearing. Oh, it hasn't been invented yet. You know, do you want to be a doctor? No, I can't stand the sight of blood. Do you want to do this? No, I can't. You know, I just knew what I couldn't do, but I had some message. Right. So it's been an interesting path. After I got rid of all my pain, I studied with Dr. Ewan and did my mastery with him in 2003. And then in 2004, I started channeling. And at first, I kind of thought I had Tourette's. So I went to the neurologist and they ruled it out, you know. But then eventually, me and my colleagues started realizing it was coinciding with the kinesiology, and that I just literally became the divining rod. So my body, you know, all of a sudden I might make some noises, or the Sacred Heart has her own language, so that might come through, or my hand might fly or kind of move because the energy is stuck. And once that was starting happening, then I started just really trying to format it to teach it to people, because I realized what an amazing tool it was to be able to really know the truth about what, you know, the world around you and how to navigate that. And that's kind of where the book came from. So I'm excited to give the book back this Christmas.
Yeah. I mean, I just love this, because I think that's what really stops people in their tracks. Physical pain, the propaganda, the programming, the way the medical industry handles any form of illness that can get us further and further into, you know, a hole. And the whole idea for me, and what you absolutely embody and understand, is that when there's adversity, when there's illness, even injury, it gives us the opportunity to bond closer to ourselves. It gives us the opportunity to learn what the messages are in the body. It helps us to step into our multidimensional awareness and begin to work the energy to then affect the physical. And then the physical catches up, which is what I noticed is really how you naturally work things. And you've always had that understanding, which is what led you on this journey. And I mean, talk about earth justice, because there's nothing better than to reconnect the individual with Gaia and their own healing powers, knowing that, you know, anything is possible. So it's so inspiring. So anybody that's really dealing with adversity and illness or any kind of ailment out there, I just hope you take these words to heart, because if you can turn this into triumph and victory and really choose a path that's compatible with your spirit and your soul and the truth, you can be a teacher and really help others and hold space for their own personal healing, which obviously that's the most effective way, is to really engage in that, you know, person's process. So no matter what's going on out there, folks, as far as what you're dealing with, connecting with a person like this and her book and what she has to say and checking out what she has to offer is really, I highly recommend it. Also, you do retreats and all these other kinds of things. Maybe take us into just where you are today and what kind of interesting things you have in the works as far as what you do with humans, and you know, whether that's sessions or the retreats, or, you know, anything else that you want to bring in.
Okay. Well, today I am on Maui, and I finally formatted the medicine that's been coming through me since 2004 into a place where I can teach it. I can give sessions with it, and I can also do transformative spiritual retreats with it. I also do custom retreats on Maui and teach workshops and weekend seminars. We are a brand new modality, so it's I've got a certification program ready to launch right at the right moment, where when we start building momentum, uh, and people are ready to learn it and commit to it, then we'll have a program where they can follow to become certified practitioners and teachers, and share it with more people in the world. So I'm excited about that. I'm also excited to realize that my new definition of success is to have about 350 people on Maui doing power energetics. Even if they just work on themselves in the morning to live their best life, just for a minute or two, that would be enough energy on the island to shift the whole entire island. And I don't know if your audience is aware that Maui is the heart chakra of the planet. So I think I was called here to do my work from the Sacred Heart, so that we can start having a rippled effect, on the planet, and send that good energy out into the world that's healing and that lifts the vibration and aligns with the Ascension. Yeah. So that is my, I just want to teach 350 people that will actually practice it every day, and be able to hold that kind of space. Because I know for me, like anybody in the neighborhood right now, if I'm doing the medicine and they share those similar issues, problems, and they get relief from that same shift, they're going to feel it. And so it has that kind of radiation, it radiates out into the world, ripples out.
It absolutely does. And when I think about what you've been able to overcome and how that must have shifted the collective, just that victory and triumph, and then how the frequency that you carry and how it activates people and just puts them in the center of their own, core, connected to just their divinity. I mean, you just bring a person right into that space. And so, I mean, what would you want to say to those that might be watching or have family members to kind of get the ball rolling? Because, I mean, I know signing up for a session would be a really good idea, and the help out there. But I mean, maybe what was the first point of inspiration for you, and what maybe can you share with others that kind of turned that light on and all of a sudden led you in the direction that you've been going in? What sort of switch came on, and what can you say to kind of maybe help people switch theirs on if you haven't already, just by speaking?
Yeah, I think it's about holding the container and the frequencies. I know in Mayan astrology, I'm a white overtoned dog. I'm here to hold the container for the whole ascension to take place. So I feel like power energetics is something I could teach to a 2-year-old. It's really just kind of about communing with that, with your sacred heart. And I teach people how to just turn off their thinking and empty their minds, and dropping into their hearts and dropping into that place of the sacred heart and asking questions there. And I think from that place, using kinesiology, using body scans, you can create a quantum shift. So it's a very easy concept, and it looks all mystical and magical, but really, what is the spirit saying? It's the power of love.
Right.
It is really the power of love, and love can do anything. And I think we all know that deep down, emotionally and intellectually, but the application of it really hasn't been presented, right? So I think this is an application where it really kind of drops you into that place where it is a sacred place where real love is, that you can now learn how to express in a very nurturing, healing way. And it's centered, and it's grounded, and it's practical, and you can quantify it, by I start people off with a baseline. If they have back pain, where's your back right now? If 10's the best you can feel and 1 is the worst you can feel. And, it might be a 6. And then in a couple minutes, it'll be an 8. In a couple minutes, it'll be a 10. And then we kind of make it through that whole entire list. of any symptoms you're currently having, anything that's bothering you, usually on the first session, and it probably lasts, I would say, an hour to 2 hours. And at that point, we come up with a plan of keeping you fully tuned to those frequencies so that those things become part of your past. You can't even recreate them or bring them back because they're so deleted off your biocomputer, you know?
Right. Yeah. And once one can step into that, then there's just a new default, a new foundation. And I did a session with you, and I really loved how the foundation was, set a new foundation, a new sort of way of operating on a mental level. And as an astrologer, it's fun because I can look into the nitty gritty and kind of share the different elements of it all. But like, I love to tell people about you, because to get the real energetic work done, to kind of take, that clarity, so you really know maybe what issues to bring to the table. It's like so perfect to say, okay, check out Elizabeth. And, what's really great too is, wherever people are right now, just knowing that you can work with the body's intelligence and work, from that unconditional love and the power of spirit, which holds dominion over anything that's going on in physical matter. I mean, it almost just feels so like, of course. I mean, and then you think about people going off to the doctor's office and sitting on that cold table, and they're just, getting checked out. They're just another number, and then maybe they'll get a prescription, and then they're out of here. I mean, this is, a huge breakthrough, to be able to work energy this way for ultimate healing, because it cures your relationship to everything on a much more multidimensional level than just, oh, okay, I'm feeling better, but now it's coming back again and again. I mean, sometimes I'm sure people have to do maybe touch-ups or check-ins, but it's in such a more divine and healing space. And I used to do energy work somewhat similar, and I decided to just move into this arena because the mind is powerful and it can, activate certain things. But I have to say, after having a session with you, I highly recommend that people check you out. And you do this over the phone, right? So if you're not in Maui, people can still benefit from what you have to offer.
Yeah, I do it on Skype or FaceTime or Facebook Messenger video chats, or we can do it on the phone. But I do it with people all over the world, and have been doing some level of this since about 2002. And I've been muscle testing now since about 1990. So it is available anywhere, anytime. And it has just as good of an effect whether you're in the room with me or virtually with me. So it is definitely a next level healing modality. I feel like it's super revolutionary as far as energy medicine goes. Really, there's not a lot of techniques out there like it. And it's super fun to do. So when do you ever have fun healing?
I know.
You really giggle a lot. And those giggles create the shifts. You might yawn, or you might process in another way, but anything coming out of your body is kind of a sign that there's a shift taking place. And
it's all energy, and what's cool is we both did a session with each other. You got an astrology session, and I got to do one with you. And, there's a lot of just interesting factors. I go into medical astrology, and that information is really useful. But when you go into a space of, looking at the numbers and working, because, when I shuffle, it's like kinesiology, my hands just stop and I can't shuffle anymore. There's certain things that it's based on just the resonance and just, what's going on. What I really loved is that when you go into like the energy of it all, that you don't stop with a question or a concern until that number becomes 10 each time. It has to become 10.
Right.
And,
right.
And so what's wonderful is if I can just imagine, if there's a squared aspect in an astrology chart, like Saturn square Uranus, and that actually produces like a 3 over a certain concern, and then they take it up to a 10, they've actually graduated and moved that energy that could have been a chronic pattern. And that's
right.
what I find just very interesting. So when you go on these retreats, give me an idea of, I know you went into it a little bit, but just kind of walk us into just a day in the life of being on a retreat with you, or maybe each day is different. I don't know, but maybe just a little of an idea of that.
Well, we are having our first annual Magical Mermaid retreat on Maui, and it's a complete transformation with power energetics. It starts 7 a.m. is the opening circle on December 28th. January 8th at 5:30 p.m. is the closing circle, and our days will look like we have morning mermaid activities in the water, and so we're going to different locations that are the top snorkeling spots on Maui. We have Island Mermaid, Cassie Polly, joining us, and she has lots of mermaid tales to loan out to us, and she's going to be photographing us underwater. And if you love the photograph of you as a mermaid, then you're not obligated, but it's available for you to purchase. She's also going to have private sessions available, so you could try on, different tales and spend an hour just exclusively with her. It's being catered by That's a Wrap, and it's going to be gluten-free, paleo, vegan meals that are absolutely, not are they not just healthy and energized and organic, non-GMO, but they are delicious beyond, oh my gosh, so amazing. And that's Gina and Josh from That's a Wrap. They actually have a mermaid bowl that is,
Part of them.
oh, it's so beautiful and so yummy. So they're going to be catering, like we're going to do our morning activities at whatever beach. We're also going to the Grand Wailea Spa, which is one of the top spas in the world. We're doing a whale watch trip and a Molokini boat trip and some glass bottom kayak trip. So we have lots of activities in the morning, probably from about 7 to 10. Then we come, shower, and we gather back together and have a brunch from That's a Wrap. Then we're going into a 2-hour healing session with Power Energetics, and that healing transformation sessions are geared towards kind of reflecting on 2018 and then developing what we want to create in 2019, and then transforming that through the chakras and then into the beloved on January 8th. So it's going to be whoa. And then we have kind of after that, we have a Hawaiian culture class. So we can learn lei making, lomi lomi, which is massage, the Ho'oponopono prayer. We have a class in aloha, and also that's going to be kind of alternated with art classes that are going to support the transformation. We're going to do vision boards, a mermaid spirit doll, magic wand crafting, flower of life meditation. It's just going to be so much fun. And then we'll have a nice snack before the Hawaiian culture art class that they're going to alternate between the 2 days. And then after that, we're going to have a catered dinner, and then you'll have the nighttime free. So it doesn't include transportation or accommodations, but it does include all the activities, the healing, and the classes, and the meals. So
that's pretty wild. And the prices, looking at them, aren't that bad at all. And I mean,
no, for what it is, it's
change your life. Imagine putting your attention on your health in a way that only exacerbates the problems or only covers it up. I mean, this is life altering. People will come out and really feel like they have their life back. They're on track with the Ascension. They're in touch with themselves. They've built community. And if there's anything else to share, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I just want to make sure that you also bring us into anything you want to tell us about the book. I know you shared a little bit in the beginning, but I don't know if we spent enough time on that. So between kind of going from retreat to book, just want to get that space.
So the Power of Knowing, your guidebook to the truth about life. The Power of Knowing is the main title, and the subtitle is your guidebook to the truth about life. That is all about kinesiology, and it's talks about 13 different ways to actually do a muscle test and how to work out all the kinks and get really accurate with it, and then how to apply it to your everyday life, whether you're muscle testing, your professionals, your research, your supplements, your food. It is a way to test for the truth currently with what's going on with your symptoms. And then once you get comfortable, I tell people, you just practice it with questions you already know the answer to. So you can start feeling the energy and do that for about 2 weeks. And then after that, start applying it. And then after that, you can actually go into meditation, ask questions. You can hear your inner voice give you the answer. And I try to get everyone to tune into their sacred heart and listen to that answer. And then once that answer comes up and you come out of the meditation, you can test, how true is that? You can test for the first number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, it's 50% true. Okay. But once you start really getting accurate and you get those, oh, it's 95% true, then you start building your confidence around your intuitive muscle, and it just continues to develop that. And through that development, I believe it wakes up all your gifts, whether you're clairvoyant, psychic, intuitive, an empath, whatever it is, it seems to start just waking you up and clearing you up. And that's the exciting part of it. So I'm super excited. It's just, it's written at a level where anyone can understand it. And like I said earlier, even a 2-year-old could do it. So yeah, it's quite an exciting technique. And this is just kind of getting you ready to do the energy medicine and kind of tuning you into that vibrational frequency of the truth.
And when do you
think the key part of it?
Yeah, definitely. When do you think it's going to be out? You said December?
I'm going to launch a crowdfunding campaign starting October 1st. So you can order the book, pre-order it, and then I'll be mailing them out, if everything goes as planned, by Black Friday. So You'll have it before Christmas. It'll be my Christmas gift.
Oh, beautiful. Well, it's going to be really hard for anybody to be in a programming or linked into just these dangerous artificial intelligence signals when they do this level of work. So I hope people check that out. And yeah, I just want to give you a chance to share anything, though, that maybe we didn't cover that you want to cover. Maybe just any sort of message that you want to share with people, or just, something about yourself that you didn't get a chance to talk about.
Okay. Well, I wanted to just kind of touch base with, how our modalities complement each other. Laura does amazing tarot card readings, and she does next level astrology, and that's all based in facts and truth. But the thing is with kinesiology, and I know it's the science of truth, but the truth is imaginary things can weaken you. Collected things can weaken you, and it might be on a subconscious or non-conscious level, so you may or may not resonate with these things. But what I do is more for entertainment and the shift. So I can say lots of funny things, but at the end you'll be at a 10. And so that's the only important thing, so you shouldn't take what I'm saying literally on a lot of levels. But what you can take literally is the shifts and that you feel better. So Laura really informs you about what, the big picture about what's going on in your astrology and kind of like the future of what your cards are saying to you, where I'm just kind of dealing with here and now and where you're at and how you feel.
Yeah, I don't like to go in the future, actually, because the future is gonna, it's people are on their creative journey, but I know what you mean, like as far as the patternings or the probabilities, almost like a weather forecast. So I totally agree.
Right.
To let people know. Yeah. I like to kind of help them to recognize those patternings and to really step into, what has happened in the past, what's in the unconscious, to kind of begin to create more self-awareness, where I see you just, being able to move the energy. People might be able to move the energy just from the words, but to be able to know through kinesiology that you're moving something from like 2 to 10, it's really helpful. But when you can bust different things like, Saturn's squaring this and it's hiding in your unconscious based on all that, I almost feel like it's a good prep before you do like the energy work. But totally. Yeah, that's why I like to do medical astrology, and just, it's kind of like taking part of the shop just to fine tune, but also some of the probabilities that one would want to watch out for, so that you have a raincoat on when it's going to rain, if you know what I mean. So that is the future part of it. But even though I know you didn't quite mean it, in case anybody misunderstands, because I know there are people that do the hokey future telling and tell you things that I like to hold space for people to discover on their own, but just kind of give them an idea of what the roadmap looks like. So keep going with what you're saying. It's like, that's what I love about your energy shifting, because I remember you know, you said you might laugh, you might yawn. And like literally, I felt so much lighter. And I mean, I do a lot of energy work on myself. And there are certain things that I was holding as a projection against myself based on some past life that might not have worked out. I can see some of that in my astrological chart, and I kind of get the gist of it, but there's some things that you just miss. Again, the imagination and just old stories can play a part. So, and being able to blow that picture that you helped me blow, I can't tell you how ecstatic I've been ever since. And I'm just like, and I feel much more balanced about my relationship to the certain things that we were talking about.
Nice.
And yeah, it's like I could, you know, that stuff can be found in astrology and in cards, but to have somebody walk you through the energetic shift, making sure you get there, is certainly, you know, something that you know, I find really wonderful. And again, I used to work energy, and if people ask me to do that, I do, but I tend to focus more on this, and I haven't developed and fine-tuned, you know, the kind of protocol that you have. And then you got your book, you got the retreat. You're available in person, you do lectures, people can reach you over the phone. I mean, coming from a place where you didn't know if you were going to walk again, and you were just barely able to lift your head, to this divine, sacred flame of truth and real healing and transformation for humanity and the planet, and, you know, one person at a time, groups, and how that ripples out. I mean, what a gift you are, and it's such a blessing to share this space with you. And I know I want to kind of keep you back where you were to just share any last thoughts before we close.
Well, I kind of wanted to share that if you do get a personal session with me, that you write down a list of symptoms you're experiencing currently, and any kind of thing that might be bothering you, and then any goal that you're currently wanting to achieve. And so we try to address all of that within this session. And then we make a plan on how to keep you up to date and to continue the support after that first session. So that is an exciting dynamic. And then I also have if you want to learn how to do it, you know, you're a healer out there, or even if you're not healer, if you've never done anything like this in your life, it's still so much fun, and you will be able to learn it. I'm having a weekend, October 6th and 7th here on Maui. And it's from 10 to 5, and you will learn how to muscle test, how to do body scans, how to do quantum shifts, how to activate your heart chakra, and so that you can experience this new level of love, this new form of nurturing, and this new form of healing for yourself. I'm so excited about it. And
Oh gosh.
and then we're having monthly workshops that are 2 hours. It's the third Wednesday of the month at 9 a.m. But just check the website. The website is www.retreats with an S on Maui, MAUI.com. And I am, you know, come and check out the website and read the guide. The guide itself kind of goes over what to expect in a session. Please read the testimonials, the gratitude tab, that are how happy our clients are with the method and with the technique. And I am really excited to like kind of step it up in September. We'll have this interview coming out. I'm launching a new website. I'm talking at Rotary, giving the Rotarians a heart activation experience on September 5th up at Lemuria in Paia, or Makawao. I think it's Makawao. And I'm also going back on the Maui Zan show, which is 88.5 FM, but it's a Facebook Live global stream on September 12th. And there we're doing a call-in kind of radio show where if you're having abundance issues, abundance blockages, abundance kind of poverty consciousness you want to ready to let go of and shift out of, then please tune in. It's KAKU 88.5 FM Facebook page. You can tune in, and it's Hawaii Standard Time, 2 p.m. Hawaii Standard Time on September 12th. And then what else do we have this month? We have a lot of events coming up, and a couple events coming up right before the weekend seminar, so you can come and get a kind of an introduction of what's happening with it. And Yeah. Oh, we have an article coming out in Vision magazine. So I'm excited about that, and possibly Maui Times. So we're really stepping it up and ready to really launch. And I'm so grateful for this opportunity to start giving it back. It's been a long road and a long journey, and I really want to help other people shift their issues and hold their space for, so that they can heal themselves, you know. And this healing takes place super fast. It just speeds up the healing process beyond anything you really thought possible before. And even things that you didn't think you could heal, like how they told me I was permanently disabled and going to be in chronic pain for the rest of my life. I'm definitely gotten rid of hundreds of symptoms, got rid of the chronic pain, and I'm still clearing myself. So I'm still struggling with some disability, but I am a million times better than they ever thought I could be or would be. So that in itself is quite exciting.
Oh, it is. I have a lot
Yeah,
of clients that really want to move into the healing arts, and they don't really know what modalities. And very often I suggest things that you offer without having met you yet. And in my background of energy work and this and that, it's like the instructional part, making sure that you want somebody to be able to walk away sovereign and not dependent. And
right.
that's a completely different model than the old paradigm, which is the dependency and addictive drugs that are supposed to cover up other things, but it creates a whole nother condition. And I just love the fact that with all that you have to offer, you give people the skills and the tools in a very organized, concise fashion for anybody to just say, hey, go over there. You can easily set that up with her. And then all of a sudden open yourself up to not just one modality, but a number of modalities, while also having the ability to put their own unique spin on it, because nobody can, we're all different than each other, but your flair, your humor, the way you deliver it is unique to you. But, it's not like regurgitating something like from a book, because it involves creativity, it involves intention, it involves devotion. And I know that you bring people into that core center of themselves to be able to hold that level of integrity. And without that, people can walk away feeling, pretty injured by the person they worked with, even if they're considered a healer. And this is what I got from you, and why I felt so safe, and why I really wanted to invite you on, because I have a lot of people come to me who are recovering from healers and teachers and guides that just didn't work out. And when you can hold a pure space and really give people tools and really work energy in the way that you are without any form of manipulation, only empowerment, this is like key, and it's really kind of rare and hard to find, I have to say. That's why I've been thrilled to talk with you today and expose you to more people. And it's just it's a sigh of relief that you're doing what you're doing. So thank you so much. Any final thoughts you want to share?
Well, I'm grateful for this opportunity to step it up and to introduce it to your audience. I really think that a lot of people that are following you might be having issues with aliens, with Luciferian agendas, with Illuminati agendas. And I can safely tell you that I've definitely been trained to deal with any kind of energy. I've really overcome a lot of that. We were trained in Chinese energetic medicine, especially when we went into the mastery program. That really, that was kind of our initiation into that level of energy healing. So it doesn't matter what's bothering you or what's going on, that this can be a modality that can help you shift through it and process it that much faster. A lot of my clients, I was sharing with Laura yesterday, call this warp speed evolution, because really at the end of even an hour session, you can have thousands, hundreds of thousands, even millions of lifetimes. So it's pretty dynamic, really phenomenal. It really empowers the person that's receiving the healing to become more, have more aha moments and experiences of enlightenment, and their true self emerges from all of that kind of rubble that gets cleared away. So it really just strengthens you to be more of who you came here to be. It lightens you up, it grounds you, it centers you, and it helps you escalate your ascension so that you can really let go and become all of who you were meant to be here. You know, we were bombarded with all of this GMOs, all the you know, chemtrails, all the things that are in our environment right now, even on the collective consciousness of everyone that's suffering. We plug into all of that through empathy and sympathy, and we create a lot of problems and issues that really aren't even ours. We just start processing this collective unconscious stuff because we want everyone to heal. And we want it in our heart of hearts. And if we're not actually conscious of what's happening, then we take on a lot of that stuff and we just start calling it, oh, I have a backache. But you know, it could have been, it could have come from anywhere.
Totally.
So I think that is really an exciting dynamic to be able to empower yourself, to heal yourself, to be more aware of what's actually happening, what's real, I really think the book is going to help everybody navigate all that. And that's thrilling to me beyond anything, you know. I grew up in a very, well, it's funny because I grew up in a house without God so much, you know. My dad was definitely connected to spirit, but my mom was a Reformed Catholic, atheist, evolution and behaviorist, and lawyer who would argue that there was no God. And told me that people like me didn't exist, you know, weren't real, just not to believe any psychics or don't believe any of that stuff, you know. She was very much in the third dimension, and then I was a very physical, sports oriented person before I became disabled. And so I was a windsurfer, I was a dancer, I walked 6 miles a day, I did tons of calisthenics, you know. I was just solid as a rock, and overnight it all left. So I think also too, I grew up as an artist, so I had that creativity in me. I was always, you know, I had the engineer, so I had that mathematician mind behind me. And then I was born and raised in Dearborn, Michigan, which is the home of Henry Ford and innovation. You know, so I have that in my roots, just to innovate things and to make them better. And I was raised by a lawyer and an engineer businessman, so it's been quite a journey to where I've gotten to. But I just followed my heart the whole way, and I prayed a lot after I woke up, and I just felt very connected to God. I felt very connected to like you know, God was listening and answering my prayers and really bringing me miracle after miracle. And I was so grateful that brought more of those miracles. I think that was my path, just having faith in the chronic pain. Like, this is here for a reason, you know. I wouldn't say that I was totally like that 100%. I had my bad days where I was just, you know, I asked my dad to hire a Jack Kevorkian, and I couldn't deal with it anymore because I couldn't take it in my own life, but I was kind of ready to go. And I feel grateful that assisted suicide was not legal at that time. It was the 90s. So I just know that if you're in pain, I can help you get out of pain. That's my specialty. If you're blocked in any way and you're ready to shift out of it, that's my specialty. If you have lots of symptoms that are going on, that I can help you with. It's quite a dynamic form of medicine, and I'm happy to teach it to you, to, you know, work with you to shift your stuff and get you to where you're going that much faster.
Awesome. You know, this to me is like the ultimate disclosure in a sense, because we're the ones that we're wanting to wake up to. We are the shift, we are the ascension. And the greatest discovery, I think, is who we are and what we're made of. And these adversities and these illnesses and these ailments and even injuries can guide us. And what a beautiful guide you are, and teacher and healer, and what an amazing story to really help people to recognize that this is truth and this is possible, and you're a living example. So yeah, I know you shared all your info, but maybe just as we close, you can just share your website again, and any other kind of contact information besides your website.
You can find out more about Power Energetics at retreats on Maui.com. My phone number is 808-446-5534. And you can give me a call. I'm happy to talk to you about it a little bit and get you in to see me privately, or get you enrolled in one of the workshops or retreats or the weekend seminar to learn how to do power energetics.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Elizabeth. It's been such a pleasure, and I know we'll stay connected to one another. And thank you, everybody, for listening. This is just completely inspiring. I'm so happy and grateful. Take care, everybody, and I'll be doing more interviews and hopefully more videos, and there's a lot coming up, and I will look forward to share it with you when the time is right. So much love. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye, everybody.
Thank you, Laura.
You're
Aloha.
welcome. Aloha.